All right, all right, all right. We have our finals next week on these half days coming up. Monday will be Miss Terrell's homeroom testing. Tuesday will be Miss Howell's room testing, and Wednesday will be Mr. Jones's classroom testing. We did not get to go over a lot today with Mr. Jones' class. We didn't even get a chance to hit this, but I want to make sure that I have this available for you at home so that tomorrow we can go through it quickly and be able to do the rest of them. Okay, so I'm not going to do that many today. Um, I'll know when I want to stop, I guess. So let's go ahead and get started. Number one, in 2003, the population of Riverdale was 339,803. What is this number in expanded form? And we talked about making certain that you start with your greatest place value, which is the 100,000th place, and zeros follow because this is worth 300,000. This 3 is worth 30,000. This 9 is worth 9,000. This 8 is worth 800, and this 3 is worth 3. So expanded form would be 300,000 plus 30,000 plus 9,000 plus 800 plus 3. Okay. I also told the other classes, or because sometimes they'll switch it up to see if you really know what you're doing. So this 300,000 could be added to the 30,000. Cause so we could say 33,000 plus 9,000 plus 800 plus 3. Or we could just leave I put 33. That's supposed to be 330,000, y'all. So 330,000. Because 300,000 plus 30,000 is 330,000 plus 9,000 plus 800 plus 3. Or you could simply start with your 300,000 plus, and you could put 30 plus 9,000 and do 39,000 plus 800 plus 3. And there's probably several other ways that this could work out as well. Because sometimes they try to see if you really know what's going on. For instance, this could be 3,000, 300, I'm sorry, 200,000 plus 100,000. Okay, so just know that they can break these numbers up any way they like to break them up. It's just you understanding place value and how it adds together to make 339,803. Okay. Number two, place the following numbers in order from least to greatest. This is very easy as well. So by now, you probably don't have to line up your place value, especially for 3-digit numbers. But I'm sure for greater numbers, you probably want to make sure you're lining them up. So we always start with the greatest place value, and we have 3, that's 500. So which is less because it says from least to greatest. So I know 506 is the least, and then 560 is next, and then 584 is next, and then 604 is next, and then 659. Okay. All right, so this is from least to greatest. Then number 3, write 2 numbers that round to 43,000 when rounded to the nearest thousand. The big thing here with 43,000, you have to know where the thousands place is. Ones, tens, hundreds, ones, tens, hundreds. This 3 is in the thousands place. Okay, so we know if we are trying to round to 43,000, I know that 42,500 is the least it could be. and 43,499 is the greatest the number can be. Okay, because I know that if it's a 2 in the thousands place and I look to the right and it's 5 or greater, I round up to 43,000. But I also know if I look in the thousands place and I look to the right and it's 4 or less, it remains the same. Okay, so it's any number between these two numbers. So this might be a strategy you want to use when you are trying to find numbers that rounds to 43,000. You can also look at your multiple choice and round each of those to the nearest thousand and then choose the correct one. Okay, so this answer, any number from here to here or from here to here. So we had several this morning. These two numbers, of course, rounds to 43,000. Okay, anything closer to 43,000 also rounds to 43,000. I just said this morning, look at the numbers and which ones are closest to 43,000 as possible. Okay. All right, number 4. Miss Terrell spent $1,785 on a new refrigerator and $685 on a new freezer. How much did she spend altogether? That means you need to add them together. $1,785 plus $685. Add it together. $2,470. Just make sure you're lining up your place value. Okay. All right. If 1,352 is added to an unknown number, the sum is 4,912. What's the unknown number? Well, if I write out an equation, it says added unknown number, which is like a variable, equals 4,912. So remember, you can always write out your equation so that you understand what's being asked of you. So I know the opposite or the inverse operation of addition is subtraction. So that means I need to subtract 4,912 minus 1,352. 2 minus 2 is 0. 1 minus 5, I know I can't take 5 away from 1. And I know I can't flip it and put the 5 up top and the 1 at the bottom. You cannot do that. I'm finding that more and more. And I just don't understand, considering we've gone over this time and time again. When your brain says to flip it, say, no, 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 brain. That is not the right thing to do. I have to regroup. So we have to go next door to the hundreds place and make that an 8. Which means that we have 10 tens now, because 10 tens makes 100. So 10 tens plus the 1 10 is 11 tens. If I subtract 11 tens minus 5 tens, it gives us 6 tens. 800 minus 300 is 500. 4,000 minus 1,000 is 3,000. So B equals 3,560. Okay? Please make sure you're working on that subtraction that I sent you home with as homework. Please. We're getting more wrong answers because of subtracting than understanding division itself. All right, next question. Write a situation. A situation is like a number story. It's not an equation. It's not an answer. It's a number story that's represented by the equation 41 times 7. So I might say I have 41 books on each shelf. If I have 7 shelves, how many books do I have? Write a different story. If you're watching this video, don't write my story. Write your own story so that you can see that you understand the equation. Okay? I'm not sure if the test is going to ask you to solve, but if it does, you know, it's 40 plus 1 times 7. 280 plus 7 is 287. 287 books. So I'm not sure if it's going to ask for the answer or if it just wants you to understand the situation. I heard someone say 41, they had 41 cookies and someone else had 7 more. 7 more is 41 plus 7. So if you're using the word more, then it's going to be incorrect because that's addition. You got to make sure that you are using multiplication words. Times as many, 7 times as many. Like this one, I have this many books here, or I have this many cookies, and someone has 7 times as many, or 7 of my friends has the same number of cookies. Make sure it's a multiplication equation situation. Okay? All right, number 7, there are 149 students in the 4th grade. Each 4th grade student has 3 books. Make sure you can see the question. Sorry. There are 149 students in the 4th grade. Each 4th grade student has 3 books. How many books does the 4th grade class have in total? 149. Each has 3. 3 times 100 is 300. 3 times 40, bring down the 0. 3 times 4 is 12. And then 3 times 9 is 27. Okay, if you're adding it together, you have 300. 127 plus 120 plus 27 is 147. Added together is 447 books. Okay. This is the type of situation I was referring to for the last question as well. Okay. All right, number 8, solve. 2,932 divided by 8 equals P. What does P equal? 2,932 divided by 8. Remember, you can write your 8 multiples of 8. 16, 24, 32, 40, 48. I'm going to stop right there because I don't think we need that many looking at this number, but if we do, we can come back. All right, so 29 is the first part because 2 is less than 8. So 29 divided by 8, 24 gets me as close as possible. 1, 2, 3. So 3, 0, 0, 0, 0. Remember, the digits that we didn't use, 0 above, 0 below. Subtract 2, 3, 5. I have 532 now. 532 goes to the next column. Perhaps I should have kept going. 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56. Okay, so I guess I did it, but hey, it's good to know. All right, because 56 is greater than 53, so I know I have to use 48 because I'm doing 53. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Put my 6 over my 3. 0 above and below the 2 because 8 times 60 is 480. Subtract. It leaves 2. And then remember, this is like 53 tens. 53 tens minus 48 tens. 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53. That leaves 5. When you have numbers in the tens that are close together, you can just count up. Okay, so like 53 and 48, that can go together instead of trying to regroup. Okay, all right, so 52 goes to the next column. Look back over here. Once again, it's the same number, 48. And I know that was times 6. Subtract 48, 49, 50, 51, 52. That leaves 4. And 4 is less than 8. I know that's my remainder. I don't have to go any further. So P equals 366, remainder 4. Okay. Number 9, what's the missing digit in the multiplication problem below? Well, in order to find the missing digit, you got to do the problem. So 5,000 plus 100 plus 90 plus 2 times 6. 1, 2, 3 zeros. 1, 2, 3. And 5 times 6 is 30. So that's 30,000. 6 times 100 is 600. 6 times 90, 1 0. 9 times 6 is 54. Yeah, 54. And then 6 times 2 is 12. Okay? All right, now I can add. So because these are close together, 600 plus 540, I know that that is 11,040. No, 1,140. So 30,000 plus 1,140. Okay, plus 12. Okay, add it together. 2, 5, 1, 1, and 3. 31,152. So the missing digit is 1. Okay. All right, number 10. I think I'll go to 12 and stop because we'll do this as well tomorrow in class, and I don't want to do too much because I'm tired too. It's 5 o'clock and I'm ready to go home too. All right, so let's take a look. Kylie goes to the mall to buy some bracelets. Each bracelet costs $6. Kylie spends a total of $36 on bracelet. Write an equation and solution to show how many bracelets, which is in, she bought. So each bracelet costs $6. So $36 is how much she spent in all. If I divide my bracelets by $6, it's going to equal N. So 36 divided by 6 equals N. This should be very easy. You really don't have to go, you don't have to go through much. You really have to say 6 times what equals 36. And I know that 6 times 6 equals 36. N equals 6. Okay? Number 11, Janila had $3,643. She spent $519 on clothes and $129 on accessories. How much money does she have left? Well, this is how much she had. This is how much she spent. So it's asking how much she had left. So I know I'm going to have to subtract something. But the best thing to do is add what she spent together to get a total before you subtract it from her amount that she originally had. Okay, so $519 plus $129. 9 plus 9 is 18. Carry a 1. That's a 4. And that's a 6. So she spent $648. And she had $3,643. So I'm going to subtract $648. And as you can see, we have to regroup here. 3 is not enough to take 8 away. And then if I go to 4, I already see that's not going to work out. That turns into a 3. This becomes a 13. But I see that I'm not going to have enough in my tens place, so I'm going to keep going over to my hundreds place and take 1. But then I see that's not going to be enough to subtract either. So go to my thousands. That becomes a 2. This becomes a 15. And this becomes a 13. Okay? Okay, because we already took away 1 to regroup on the previous number. So as I go across, I can add 10 and 10 here. Okay, so 13 minus 8, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, that's 5. 13 minus 4, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That is 9. And then 15 minus 6, 6. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, that's 9 as well. All right. Right now, bring down our 2. And I want to check this. Something my brain is saying, Mr. Terrell, is that really correct? So let me check. We can check our work by adding these two numbers, 2,995 plus 648. I think I'm tired because I feel like I can't think anymore. 5 plus 8 is 13, carry your 1, that's 14, carry your 1, that's 16, carry your 1, 3,643. That's what we started with, so that is correct. So how much did she have left? She had 3,000. Two. This looks horrible, y'all. $2,995 left. It's always good to check your work. Always. Okay. Even if you think you got it right, check your work. Okay. When I say check your work, or when I ask you during the test, did you check your work? That means go back and redo the problems. Go back and add your answer to your bottom number of subtraction to see if you got your top number. Okay, and number 12, I think this will be the last one because I feel exhausted right now. All right, which number rounds to 820,000 when rounded to the nearest 10,000 and rounds to 825,000 when rounded to the nearest 1,000? All right, so let's look at our numbers. We have 820,000, and then it has 825,000.
London Lawson and Cody Moore, 5th grade, to the front for dismissal.
All right, so it's asking to round to the nearest 10,000 and the nearest 1,000. So I'm underlining my 10,000s because it says 820 when rounded to the nearest 10,000, 825 when rounded to the nearest 1,000. Okay, so what number rounds to 820,000 but also rounds to 825,000? So when I think of numbers like this, like I said earlier, I can draw my number line, and in the middle, I know my goal is 820,000, and I know that I have to be at 819,999 to round to 820,000, and I could be at 820. My brain is just doing a number on me today because I'm tired. And we're rounded to the nearest 10,000. 824,000 to round to 820,000. Okay. All right. So here, if I look to the right, it is 4 or less, so it remains 820,000. When I look here, I look to the right, and that 9 pushes that 1 to become a 2, which will be 820,000. Now, my question is, would this number round to 825,000? So neither of these would round to 825,000. Okay. So when I look at this number, let's look at 825,000. I know that I could round. So this, you really have to work through this. I know that 824,000 999. If I look at this number and I look to the right, that would make the 4 become a 5, which rounds to 25,000 if I'm rounded to the nearest 10. I mean, if I'm rounded to the nearest 1,000. But if I'm rounded to the nearest 10,000, let's look again. 824,999. The nearest 10,000, I will look to the right. That 4 is less than 5, so that 2 remains the same, and it will round to 820,000. Okay? So really the best thing to do for this type of problem, because it's going to be multiple choice. So I would look at every number that's given on the multiple choice choices, and I would round that number to the nearest 10,000 and to the nearest 1,000 to see if it rounds to 820,000 and 825,000. And if it does, it would be your correct answer. Okay? So it's a lot that goes into this, understanding your place value, understanding the number to the right. Um, Greater than 5 pushes the underlying number up, less than 5 keeps the underlying number the same. Okay? So just remember those clues in order to choose the correct answer on number 12. We might do something else with that tomorrow because that seemed a little, might be a little confusing to some people because it is a lot. Okay? But we'll work on that tomorrow. I'll put a star by it. And if I forget, just remind me. Okay? All right. Hopefully you're able to work through this and be able to study and be able to gain greater insight by doing this tonight. Hopefully, I will see you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.